In my last video on Fallout 4, I talked about my favorite way to play the game, involving unyielding armor pieces, crazy amounts of radiation, high intelligence, and near constant triggering of nerd rage. In this survival difficulty build, because you keep your health below 25% to get the benefits of your unyielding armor, Nerd Rage activates pretty much every single time you take damage, meaning you are getting all the buffs to damage and armor from Nerd Rage on top of the benefits of your higher special stats every time you get into a fight. I called this build the Adrenaline Junkie, but then I got swarmed with comments telling me that this is actually a dominant build in Fallout 76 called the Bloodied build, which is a way better name.
Why didn't I think of that?
I also got tons of comments asking me to demonstrate the best way to begin this build, so that's what I'm going to do today. If you watched my last video, you know that the Adrenaline Junkie or Bloodied build increases the viability of all other builds. This means that you can start with any special stats you like as long as you have high intelligence for Nerd Rage. But don't worry, I'll give more direction on some optimal starting specials. But before I dive into the specials, I also want to let you guys know that I designed this build for Fallout 4 veterans who know the game in and out, who are playing on survival, the hardest difficulty, and are specifically looking for a new way to play that is outside the box of every other build. When I put my Bloodied build video out, I honestly didn't expect the Fallout TV show to do so well and bring such a huge surge of new players to the game.
Damn good deal.
I had no idea I would receive the audience I did, and I'm absolutely floored by all the ridiculously nice comments I've been getting. Seriously, you guys are the best. And that's why I feel obligated to say that if this is your first time playing the game, I do not recommend using the Bloodied build. Half of the fun of this playstyle is derived from playing the game in a totally irregular, novel way. So if you don't know what a regular playstyle is like, you won't see the specialness of the Bloodied playstyle. Just like if you'd been on drugs your entire life, there would be no way to tell that you were high. But I'm not just telling you to avoid the Bloodied build for your first playthrough. I actually don't believe you should use any build. On your first playthrough of Fallout 4, I believe you should go in blind. Probably on a lower difficulty, just ready to experience the game's story and mechanics on your own, before trying to find the optimal min-maxed damage dealer. Experience the narrative of the game and make it your own through your own choices, without outside influence. I know I'm essentially telling most of you to not watch this video, but I honestly think you'll enjoy the game more if you just experience it without any foreknowledge, just as the sole survivor is initially put into the wasteland with no understanding of the world around him. Then, after you've finished your first playthrough, come back and watch the rest of this video. With that being said, I recognize that you guys are independent thinkers and you can make your own decisions. If you still want to run this build for your first playthrough, be my guest, but be warned that there are some spoilers ahead for the main story and the Fah Habah questline. If you'd rather bow out now, please drop a like and let me know in the comments. Alright, let's get to the build. The first thing to do is design and name our character. You know, I'm something of a Fallout player myself.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
As I was saying, one of the strengths of this build is that you can run almost any playstyle to start. I'm going to run through a few good special builds for other playstyles before I go over the one that I will use for this playthrough. Here is a good melee weapons build with decent strength for melee damage and high agility for blitz. I recommend buying General Cho's Revenge from Trudy at the Drumlin Diner, and prioritizing Big Leagues, Blitz, Sneak, and Lone Wanderer, as your health pool is dangerously small at 1 endurance until you can scrounge the perk points to increase it. Use the special book as you see fit and pursue the bobbleheads at your discretion. For a charismatic settlement builder, use these specials and go for Intimidation, Gunslinger, and Inspiration to keep your companions up so you can run while they do the damage for most fights. For a heavy weapons and power armor build to start, run these specials and prioritize Big Leagues, heavy weapons, and nuclear physicist. You can also head to mass fusion early on to grab the strength bobblehead for strong back.
Sounds like someone made a stinky one.
Finally, the specials I'll be using will work great for a Rifleman, Sniper, or automatic weapons build. I'm going to start with Gunslinger and Commando, as we'll be going to Fah Habah very early to pick up our unyielding armor piece and get the Kiloton Radium Rifle, which will eventually make an automatic. If you want to use semi-automatics, just use Rifleman and grab Old Reliable from Degen and Acadia instead. 3 Strength for Armorer, 2 Perception for Rifleman, 5 Endurance for Aqua Boy because Fah Habah is filled with water that is very wet, and also we're going to need the extra health, 4 Charisma for Lone Wanderer and Attack Dog, the 2 perks that solidify Dogmeat as the best companion in the game, 9 Intelligence for Eventual Nerd Rage, 2 Agility for Commando, and 3 Luck for Bloody Mess. The most important thing to do in the vault is to gather bottles and fill them with purified water. Once we're out of the vault, we head due west to find the little chair where Deacon was no doubt waiting for us to emerge from the vault. Grab the purified water and head to Sanctuary. Once inside, go kill some bugs, level up, and dump your first perk into Intelligence. I'm going to tell you what perks to get at each level through the video, but the full perk list is in the description as well. Next, we're going to find some beer and some gold in the root cellar behind this house. Drink the beer to temporarily lose 1 intelligence, then go put the special book on Intelligence 2. When the effects of the beer wears off, we'll have a permanent 11 intelligence. Now it's time to talk to Codsworth to get the mission marker to go find Preston and the gang. While Codsworth and Willem Dahoe talk, you and I are going to talk about another constraint of the build, the horrible effect of Ludonarrative Dissonance. Ludonarrative Dissonance is the conflict between the video game's narrative told through the non-interactive elements and the narrative told through gameplay. Which means it's the feeling you get when the gameplay doesn't match the story that is told to you in the game. As humans, we actually care about stories and narrative a lot, and it upsets us when stories are told incorrectly or poorly, or when they don't make sense. Well, it upsets me anyways. So when we're told from the very beginning of the game that our character wants nothing more than to find his son, we feel bad for taking an alternate route instead of pushing through the main story as quickly as possible. The way we're going to work around this is by designing a headcanon that works for our character and his choices. In our case, Willem Dahoe was a scientist and executive at a large chemical manufacturing company. Let's call it something original, like Oscorp. Before the war, Oscorp was working on a chemical stimulant intended to provide enhanced strength, heightened senses, and regenerative abilities for American soldiers. Willem himself volunteered for the trials, but unfortunately the compound seemed to be completely inert. It was a failure. However, they never tested what would happen to subjects that used the compound after 200 years of being a popsicle, followed by extreme exposure to radiation. Now, you might think that creating an elaborate backstory for your character in a video game is a really nerdy, cringe thing to do. Getting back to the build, we loot the rest of Sanctuary, being sure to find a clothing item with +2 charisma, as there should always be at least one. As we leave Sanctuary, we stop by this trash can, which always has a couple frags in it. Across the bridge, we take a sharp left and follow the coastline. There will be a few animals in our way, but once we get to this pump-looking thing, we flip the switch, then follow the wiring up the cliff and find some cap stashes, as well as a .44 Magnum,
Yoink.
which is always good to have on hand. Next, we go to Red Rocket and kill these bugs on the way, reaching level 3 and putting our perk point into arguably the single best perk in the game, Lone Wanderer. Note, if you want to use companions, don't get Lone Wanderer and put your perk point into Charisma instead. Right after we get the best perk, we meet the best character in the game, Dogmeat.
I love him so much. I love him so much.
We help Dogmeat kill the mole rats, get the black rim glasses and fusion core from underneath the truck stop, dump all our junk into the workbench, cook the mole rat chunks, and sleep to save the game. Now it's time to go save Preston and the boys from their mess in Conchord. killing raiders, we level up twice, putting those perks into Gunslinger and Nerd Rage. After ending dozens of lives and fighting an overgrown lizard for the sake of a junkie and her caretakers, we loot the Conchord Speakeasy for the Day Tripper and XL that can be found on the second floor. Then we head to the Conchord Civic Access Point and go kill these roaches. We do this because one of the roaches has a small chance of spawning as a legendary, and we are going to be hunting down legendary enemies the entire game in order to try to get more pieces of unyielding armor. I was unlucky this time, but I'll keep mentioning places with legendary enemies for us to visit. On the bodies of the raiders we killed, we found 5 pieces of leather armor, which we take back to Red Rocket, attaching pockets on as many pieces as we can using the leather from the mole rat skins we collected earlier. After this, we head back up to Sanctuary to talk with Preston and agree to check in on a settlement for him to complete his quest. This levels us up again and lets us put a point at the first rank of Chemist, making any drugs we take last longer. Now it's time to head south, eventually making our way to Diamond City.
Shell City.
We head down the road to Trashcan Carla, sell what we don't need to her, then continue on to Drumlin Dimer and side with Trudy for a nice amount of caps, XP, and a discount to trading with her. We sell her our power armor pieces and head due east to Starlight Drive-In to further cull the mole rat population of the Commonwealth, leveling up again, putting our perk point into the second rank of Gunslinger, and taking another nap to save our game. Next, we are going to head down to Diamond City,
Shell City.
Following this relevantly peaceful route, stopping at Jalbert Brothers' disposal for some more mole rat extermination, Grey Garden to get a simple 100 caps by talking to Supervisor Green, and this shack to nab some more Day Tripper. Just outside of Diamond City,
Shell City.
We meet some nice people from Ohio, and they help us reach level 8 so we can put our perk point into the first rank of Commando. Once we arrive at the city, before we even enter, we should find Cricket, a wandering trader outside the city ready to sell us the spray and pray. If she's not here, you can check the outside of Vault 81 or wait a couple days inside the city until she appears. The price will be pretty steep, but this is the reason for getting those charisma clothing items and the Day Tripper from earlier. As everyone knows, wearing graphic t-shirts and taking drugs makes people like you a lot more. Though it chews through ammo pretty quickly, the spray and pray is going to keep us above ground when we head to Fah Habah, which generally has much tougher enemies than the Commonwealth. This will be our main weapon for essentially the first 30 to 40 levels of the build, and we're getting it at level 8. Next, we head into the city through the fastest method, both skipping all of Piper's incessant yapping and getting exactly what we want to occur faster by smacking the crap out of her. Yeah, I'm not sure what the message is here. It's fine for me to make that joke because 99% of my audience is men. Heading into the city now, we're going to do Piper's interview for some easy XP, buy some 45 ammo from Arturo, and then buy the Wastelander's chest piece from Myrna. This is a great chest piece to start out with because not only does it raise the wearer's agility and perception, 2 stats our character is seriously lacking in, it also comes with the Biocom Mesh modification, making any chems the wearer takes last 50% longer, which is an amazing boost. If you want more strength and endurance instead of agility and perception, you could grab the Black Ops chest piece from Deb in Bunker Hill. Just be warned that it's much pricier, doesn't come with the Biocom Mesh, and will be thrown aside as soon as we get our first piece of unyielding armor from Fah Habah. If you have the caps for it, you can also buy the Champion's Left Arm from Becky in Fallon's basement for another +1 to perception and agility. Now we're going to start one of the easiest quests with one of the largest payoffs in the whole game by heading to the Colonial Tap House and watching Paul Pembroke get his teeth realigned for free. Exit the tap house, sprint to the market for some free XP and loot.
Kyle, no! Goes over.
Then go back and talk to Paul and agree to help him stand up for himself.
I am a man.
It doesn't matter what happens to Paul or Henry from this point on. All that matters is we get to the pier and get our hands on those crates.
Just ahead, there's always 4 of Morowski's goons. Trish, who's in charge, and then 3 other guys to unload the boat and wave their guns around. You should be able to work your way around these buildings to get a good angle. I'll wait for the shooting to start, then join you. Remember, this was
Why are we doing all this, you ask?
Drugs.
What?
Drugs. drugs, okay?
On top of looting the crates, be sure to loot the triggermen and pick up their submachine guns as well. Picking these guns up off the floor will pull the ammunition out of their magazines and dump it in our inventory, which is helpful for ensuring we don't run out of ammo for the spray and pray. Next, we head back to Diamond City and craft tons of Psycho Jet and Psycho Buff, which gives us another level up, and we spend the perk points on the first rank of Bloody Mess. Now we're totally done with Diamond City. Sleeping one more time to save, we leave and take an immediate left to fight the pack of dogs that spawns in this junkyard next to the ballpark, which almost always has a legendary. This time we got an interesting weapon, but it's not something we care about. Believe it or not, we level up again and put that perk point into the second rank of Bloody Mess. Moving on, we also check for legendary enemies in this Radroach spawn, and the Radroach spawn in the old Boston Police Precinct. Finding nothing, it's time to make our way to the Boston Library to pick up the Science Bobblehead and raise our intelligence to 12. We use the intercom and guess the password to ensure that the robot security doesn't target us. Then we move to the back of the room on our left and immediately take an hour-long nap to set a save point. Using the key on the desk, we loot the back rooms, grab the bobblehead, and take a ridiculous amount of drugs to fight off the super mutants that spawn. I decided to pick up a decent pipe machine gun off a dead mutant and used it to fight the rest of the horde so I wouldn't waste any of my 45 ammo before I needed to. After clearing all the mutants, I pick up all their pipe rifles to get as much 38 ammo as possible since this automatic pipe rifle is actually fairly decent and I'm going to use it till I run out of ammo for it. Next, it's time to go pay Swan a visit and demonstrate how powerful our build is while only at level 10. We put our level 11 perk into the second rank of Commando and head into the subway station to rescue Nick Valentine. Not because we necessarily need him, but because the goons guarding him have lots and lots of submachine guns with 45 ammunition. And we want it. However, if you do like having a companion, Nick is great and there's a ton of story that you get with him in Fah Habah. I've already played through Fah Habah with Nick as a companion, so I'm not going to bring him along for this video, but I do recommend it, as long as you didn't take the Lone Wanderer perk. Getting back to the build, after killing all the goons in the vault, picking up their guns, and then dropping them again to collect the 45 ammo inside, it's time to say hi to Dino. Hi Dino! We get to level 12 and we put that perk into the first rank of Medic. Nick tells us that we have about 3 minutes until Skinny Malone's gang notices that their beloved Dino has gone missing.
Wait.
But he's totally wrong because I waited for 3 minutes and nothing happened. With our immersion ruined, we delete the game and play something actually good. We move our way through the vault with Nick, sleep in a bed, and refill any empty bottles we have with purified water. When we get to Skinny Malone, we drop a present for him right by his feet and go ahead and put him to bed because he's obviously overtired and cranky.
An awkward conversation with Darla's parents when I tell them their daughter bit the big one. Well, at least the case is closed. Let's get out of here. There's a service ladder that should take us right to the surface.
Leaving the vault and talking to Nick completes the quest and levels us up to 13. We put our perk into the first rank of Aqua Boy, allowing us to swim without taking radiation damage. Now that we have our starting armor, weapon, and enough ammunition, it's time to head up to the Nakano's place to go to Fah Habah and finally get our unyielding armor to complete the early game of the build. On our way north, we stop at Bunker Hill to do some more trading, and at the National Guard trading yard to see if there's a legendary ghoul inside the main building. There's no legendary this time, so we keep heading north. Killing some ghouls having a summer beach day gets us another perk point, which we decide to hold on to for now, because there's nothing we really need at the moment. Holding on to some perks and saving them for later is a great strategy in this game. It allows you to remain flexible and change your build as needed on the fly. After we get to the Nakano's, we do some grade A detective work and determine that Kasumi has run away to the exact place we need to go to get our unyielding armor. What are the odds of that? We tell this information to the Nakano's and then struggle not to say the magic boat ride line.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it.
That's crazy. I'm not taking a ride on somewhere else to go.
I trust that boat with my life. My father.
A magic boat ride?
Hell, dude! What the fuck?
After we arrive in Fah Habah, we help defend the town and then do some more trading. Talk with the Mariner and agree to find the power tools for her, and then head to the last plank to get Old Longfellow to take us up to Acadia. We also stop by the doctor to craft some more chems, which brings us up to level 15, and we put another perk into Gunslinger. I should mention that it's incredibly helpful to visit the doctor in every major town or settlement to get any diseases or radiation poisoning fixed for a low price.
Iridocyclitis.
The road to Acadia is fairly uneventful, but there are a few legendary enemies along the way. Oh great, the most useful legendary armor piece in the game. On the road, we meet a curious lady and ask her about a cool guy named Adam.
Now keep driving, you bro-
Then we arrive at Acadia and talk to Dima. We're supposed to be here to see if Kasumi is okay, but honestly, we don't really care about her. We care about getting our unyielding armor. So we're going to talk to Faraday, who is going to give us the data recovery quest to go get some storage drives from a crashed boat. Before leaving to complete the quest, take a nap, and buy Old Reliable from Djinn if you're using the Rifleman perk. Heading straight towards the map marker from Acadia, we run into a house with some trappers in it and unshackle them from the burden of being alive. Getting us to level 16, which we put into the second rank of Chemist. We also pick up this cool hood, perfecting the Green Goblin look. After sleeping in the upstairs bed, we continue on our way and run into a legendary Radstag. Now let me say something about legendaries really quick. I don't know why, but I always find the best items on the weakest legendary creatures. This Radstag had no right to be carrying a rad-powered piece of armor, while the legendary Grim Trapper had a Safecracker's arm piece. But you know what? I'm not mad about it, as this armor is going to give us a huge amount of strength for the rest of the playthrough. Moving on, we clear the trappers out of the town and loot the burning ship. Note that there's a chest on it that you can't open. This is intentional game design. We make our way back to Acadia, turn in the storage drives to Faraday, and level up to 17. If you're running with dog meat, like a real one, put your perk point into the second rank of Lone Wanderer. If you're with Valentine or another companion, choose another charisma level up. Now, in order to activate the next part of the quest, you need to talk to Kasumi, who will tell you that some shady things are afoot in Acadia and that she doesn't trust Dima. There are a few ways to help her discover the truth, but like most things in life, the easiest answer is to take drugs. Using our charisma gear and some great mentats or day tripper, we can just straight up ask Dima what's going on and he tells us the truth, which we relay to Kasumi. Then go find a bed and sleep for 24 hours. Upon waking, go talk to Cog and initiate the quest that will finally give us our unyielding armor piece, the price of memory. Jewel will give us the key to the locked box on the burning ship, so now we need to skedaddle all the way back to the ship, open the box, read a note, and then head back to Acadia again. When we finally make it back, it is imperative that we talk to Jewel and tell her what happened. Do not talk to Cog. On top of yapping about her personal problems, she'll give us a key to a lockbox in the basement containing an unyielding synth chess piece.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
This armor scales with the player's level, and since we are under level 20, we got the worst variant of it, which is unfortunate. But in order to get a heavy synth chess piece, we probably need to be level 50 or above before we even get to Fah Habah. If you'd rather get the better chess piece, then just don't go to Fah Habah and play in the Commonwealth until you're level 50. Now it's time to get the Kiloton Radium Rifle and complete our build, but first we're going to grab the power tools for the Mariner, both so we can kill more legendary enemies and also so we can get a good number of caps. Oh, and turning our quest into Duel leveled us up to 18, but we're going to save the perk for later. We head out of Acadia and towards the power tools, stopping by some radioactive waste to get our unyielding armor effects.
Very nice!
Upon reaching the power tools, we kill some more legendary Ohioans, but unfortunately they don't have anything too good. Then we meet Machete Mike, no relation, and he thinks he can buy the power tools off us for a large sum of caps. But when we take a job, we do it as instructed. Our word is our bond, and we would never double-cross the Mariner, or anyone who hires us for that matter.
Pay you 2,000 caps, right?
Plus we can just kill him and take his caps anyway.
Yoink!
On our way back to the Mariner, we run into a super mutant camp and find some more legendaries, leveling up again and again shelving the perk for later use. Then we make it back to Fah Habah, turn in the quest to the Mariner, and save in a bed before heading out to meet the Children of Adam. While on the road to enlightenment and Adam's glory, we run into a pack of wolves, one of which happens to be a legendary, and finally find it. A separate piece of unyielding armor.
Yeah, baby!
This playthrough has been truly blessed by Adam above.
I love him!
This is why I don't legendary farm. Though it takes longer and you might never get it, it's so much more satisfying to find the legendaries you want out in the world. We continue on the road, now rocking 2 pieces of unyielding drip, and reach the nucleus, where people seem to be very reasonable. Before we can enter the nucleus and buy the Kiloton rifle, Zealot Richter tells us that we need to get high. Little does he know that we are pretty much experts in this by now. After getting absolutely crossfaded on radiation and our own supply, we follow the woman to Ohio, say hi to the locals, level up again, saving yet another perk, and pick up a funny statue. Bringing it back to Richter makes him very impressed with us and allows us entry into the nucleus, where we can finally buy the Kiloton Radium Rifle. Though it's a semi-automatic right now, putting our saved perk points, of which we have 4, into Nuclear Physicist and Gun Nut will eventually allow us to convert this weapon into an automatic beast, even better than the Spray and Pray. And that's going to have to do it for the Bloody Build Guide. If you guys like this and want more, I do have a tentative part 2 planned out that will make Willem Dafoe even more OP, though it involves completing the entire Fah Habah storyline. Still, if that's something you'd like to see, let me know that you want a part 2 down in the comments. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I'm glad you guys suggested it. If you're still here, please like, comment, subscribe, and remember to join your nearest radiation worshipping cult. In all seriousness, I've really been blown away by the growth of the channel, and I really appreciate all the new viewers. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and if you don't mind, please check out my other videos that aren't Fallout related. Their titles might not pique your interest, but I put the same amount of work into every video I make, so they're all well edited. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.